They are Christians. Obama and Clinton lambasted for calling bombed Sri Lanka Easter worshippers. Some people believe prominent Democrats deliberately avoided using the word Christians when condemning the bombings of the churches and hotels in Sri Lanka on Easter Sunday as part of a policy to undermine Christian faith in the U.S. The 8 bomb attacks in Sri Lanka have killed almost 300 people. It's over 300 people. I've said that's 310 now. Sparked worldwide condemnation. But the way some U.S. politicians expressed their condolences sparked a minor outcry among conservative Americans. Former President Barack Obama and the former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton were blasted for using the term Easter worshippers instead of Christians when referring to the victims of the attack. Barack Obama's tweet right here. The attacks on tourists on Easter worshippers in Sri Lanka are an attack on humanity. On a day devoted to love, redemption, and renewal, we pray for victims and stand with the people of Sri Lanka. Hillary wrote, on this holy weekend for many faiths, is this a holy weekend for many faiths or for the Christian faith? But maybe it is. I don't know. On this holy weekend for many faiths, we stand united against hatreds and violence. I'm praying for everyone affected by today's horrific attacks on Easter worshippers and travelers in Sri Lanka. What is an Easter worshiper? What do you worship when you're worshiping Easter? Some people probably are worshiping the Cadbury egg, maybe. Or the Easter bunny, right? They were so scared to use the C word. And again, I know we have a lady in the chat, but I'm not talking about that C word, not the Aussie C word. Am I right? It's the other one, the holy word. Christians. These are Sri Lanka Christian churches where three Sri Lanka Christian churches were targeted by the perpetrators, implying that Christian minority was in the crosshairs. Some commentators in the U.S. said Obama and Clinton were in the wrong when they failed to name the religion. On this holy, blah, 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 blah. Brittany petition says, what the heck is an Easter worshiper? Ah, good one, Brittany. I just said that. I didn't read her article either. I just was making that point. The term that these people are going to such painfully ludicrous lengths to avoid using the word Christian. Another person wrote, hey, Hillary and Barack, those Easter worshipers you keep referring to are called Christians. It's a few more syllables than Muslims, but I bet you can say it if you try. Jesus says love everyone regardless of differences. Try it. Praying for Sri Lanka. Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton referred to those killed in Easter Sunday in Sri Lanka as Easter worshipers in church. Saying the word Christians would be wrong, right? The truth is that we Christians don't even care. Bullshit don't incite us against the world. Receive sense. I have to read that again. It's kind of broken, but particular ire was sparked by the fact that both the U.S. politicians didn't hesitate to use the word Muslims when expressing condolences to the victim of last month's massacre at the Mosque of Christchurch in New Zealand. Oh, good point. So Hillary Clinton says, my heart breaks for the New Zealanders and the global Muslim community. We must continue to fight the perpetrators or perpetuation and normalization of Islamophobia and racism in all its forms. She got all those buzzwords in there. She had to make sure. She only had 280 characters, so she had to make sure she could fit all those buzzwords in there. On this holy weekend for many faiths, we must stand united against hatred and violence. I'm praying for everyone affected by today's horrific accidents. The attack on tourism and Easter worshippers in Sri Lanka are an attack on humanity. One day devoted to love, redemption. Okay, so that's just their tweets again. Sorry. Michelle and I send condolences to the people of New Zealand. We grieve with you and the Muslim community. All of us must stand against hatred in all its forms. Yeah, that's a really good side-by-side. Hillary and Obama refused to call the Sri Lanka victims Christians, and they both won't call them Muslim terrorists, but will call out white supremacy for the Christchurch attack, which 400% less people died in. They'll do anything to not recognize a radical Islam religion. Notably, Obama and Clinton were not the only U.S. figures who used the term in remarks, but the bloodshed in Sri Lanka Sorry, I got to read that again. Notably, Obama and Clinton were not the only U.S. figures who used the term in remarks about the bloodshed in Sri Lanka. So did Adam Schiff, the Democrat chair of the House Intelligence Committee, horrified by the Easter Sunday bombing in Sri Lanka today, which killed 200 people and injured hundreds more. These attacks on civilians and worshippers are cowardly and despicable. We stand with Sri Lanka against the terror. And the same goes for U.S. Attorney Trent Shores. On this Easter day, my prayers are with the victims of the Sri Lanka terror attack and their families. The victims include terrorists and Easter worshippers, including, I swear they get memos. You know, I swear these liberals and whatnot that have a big following and the media conglomerates have to get memos. Okay, memo to everybody. We're not saying the word Christian. We're saying Easter worshippers. Today it's Easter worshippers, okay? We're not using the C word. We're not doing that. It's Easter worshipers. That's how we refer to this. Everybody on the same page? We got it? Got it? Okay. Tweet away. The criticism is based on the perception that the Democratic Party is bent on downplaying America's Christian roots for the sake of sensibilities of people adhering to other religions. The sentiment is probably best reflected in Fox News coverage of the supposed war on Christmas in the U.S. In this particular case, however, the notion may be misplaced, one commenter pointed out. Christian churches are not exclusively Christian places of worship there. Quite the contrary. Okay, so this guy says, the churches in Sri Lanka welcome all faiths and people of all faiths to go to Easter services. I know that sounds weird, but I read up on it last night. So when Obama and HRC says Easter worshipers, they're referring to the pluralism in Easter in Ceylon. Specifically, Colombo Easter coincides with other native holidays. It's a busy time for outreach and community gatherings. I suspect this is why so many targeted were chosen. Bull crap. I mean, that's a good point there, but come on, people. That's not why. That's not why. In Sri Lanka, Christianity plays a unique role of serving as a bridge between people by welcoming both the Sinhalese and the Tamil ethnic groups. Considering that Tamil separatism was behind a bloody 25-year civil war on the South Asian island, which ended just a decade ago, one can understand why this role is highly appreciated. Yeah. I think, though, in the bigger picture, it's pretty evident why they steer away from using that word. That's my opinion. You could think I'm wrong. Don't care. My channel, my thoughts.